it's Sherry. I'm back with Flosstube number 27. It is currently May 16th, 2024, and it's hard to believe the year is half over, or almost. I am joined here today with the lovely Artemis and her bestie, Jellybean. I think he's finally worn her down. She's just like, okay, you know what? He's going to lay next to me no matter what I do. So, you know what? I'm just going to lay here, and if I die, I die. I don't know why she's terrified of him. He absolutely adores her. He loves her. But whatever. In any case, they are in here with me today. Hecate is currently sitting on my nightstand, looking out the window, surveying her kingdom. Cheeto, the last I saw, was availing himself of the fuzzy Snoopy blankie on my bed. The fuzzy Snoopy blankie that my husband got me for Christmas that I have not yet been allowed to use because cats. Snickers, the last time I saw him, he was trotting off down the hall with his favorite fishy toy in his trap. So I'm not sure where he's at. But in any case, he took his fishy toy with him wherever he went. And yes, that is his toy. No one else is allowed to touch it, and no one else dares to touch it. But anyway, I would like to start out by saying welcome. Welcome to my tiny little corner of the internet. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you. Thank you so much for the subscribes, the likes, the comments. I love reading the comments. And if you are new here, I hope you find something you enjoy. If you do, I hope you come back. But everyone is welcome. So, we will start off with cross stitch. Cross stitch. I have actually gotten quite a bit done. We've had several stormy, rainy days, so I've been stitching. The heat has also started to move in, so I'm entering that time of year where the air conditioner is running nonstop. As much for the humidity as for the heat, and I am constantly cold. I think yesterday we hit 90 degrees with 93% humidity, but no rain. So yeah, life in the South. But anyway, I've had a lot of stitchy time. I do have a new start, and then I have progress on 5 other projects. But we will start with the new start, wherever it may be. Here it is. Don't fall on the floor. No. There's about to be an avalanche. Okay, so my new start is one of my stitch alongs. It is Vampirum, thread off, by Noctiflora, and this is all I've gotten done thus far. I just started this the other day, but I mean, this is only about 3 hours worth of stitching, and that's with interruptions because I have a child, I have a husband, I have a zoo. But this is what I've gotten done thus far. By no means am I caught up, not even remotely. The first part of this is the title across the top, and then it's got little bat creatures here. And the next section is due out the 18th, so 2 days from now. No, I'm not caught up, but you know what, it is what it is. I will get caught up eventually. We'll put it that way. You can only do what you can do. This is being stitched on a 14 count Aida. It is by Witch's Garden Crafts, and it is in the colorway Batavia, and it is this lilac purple, very splotchy, mottled, but lovely fabric. And there was the avalanche. Yay! Lovely fabric. Enjoying stitching on it. It is in my little kitty cat bag, made by myself. Sorry. But that is my new start. As I said, I'm behind, but that's my new start. As I said, I'm behind, but I will catch up, hopefully. If not, it will be done a little late, but you know what? That's okay. It's okay. The only deadline I have to keep is my own, and I will adjust it. The next one I've worked on is not a stitch along, actually. Well, it was a stitch along last year. It's a stitch along that I didn't keep up with, and I didn't even stitch it. I didn't even approach stitching it as a stitch along. It is the 4 Elements by Satsuma Street. As I said, I didn't intend this to be as a stitch along because the pieces are huge. It was 4 releases, and the pieces are huge. There are over 20,000 stitches in this project. So there was no way I was going to be able to keep up with it. That was not even a thing. But I made significant progress. I sat down. I decided I am done fooling around with this wave. And ta-da! The wave is done. The water element is complete. This puts me at 29% completion for this one. And it's not even that this was a difficult stitch. It's not. It stitches fairly quickly. It's just that I got so tired of stitching blue. There are lots of different blues in this thing, but it is complete. So the next element I'm going to start is earth, and that's over here on this side of the wave. No, sorry, my bad. It's over here on this side of the wave with the curly cues. This side will be earth, and that's what I'm going to tackle next. Now, this was just the called for fabric. It is just a 14 count black Aida. Nothing fancy, just black Aida. But as I said, this was an easy stitch. It's not that it was all that difficult. It was just that I got so tired of blue. But I have finished the water element, and now we can go onward to earth. And again, this is a bag that I made myself. I made all of my bags. They're all handmade by me. I've never bought a bag. So the next one I worked on, all the others I worked on are stitch alongs because senility. the next one I worked on was the Deadly Aquarium Stitch Along. And that one is done by, and everybody knows, it's by Lola Crow. Everyone is stitching this, it seems like. I have never stitched one of her designs before, so I had no clue what to expect. But I don't have a large start. This is all I have done. I'm just working on the black right now. This one is probably going to be one that I will not keep up with. It is huge. I mean, I'll give it a go, but I don't think that I will be able to keep up with this one. And yes, this is a large piece of fabric, and I have it clipped to stay out of my way. I stitch in hand. I don't use a hoop, I don't use a frame, I don't use any of that. I just stitch in hand. So when I have large, bulky bits of fabric that I'm trying to stitch around, this is what I do with it until I get to that point. So, but this is all I have done thus far. And this was probably 2 days of stitching. Now, this is being stitched on, it's an opalescent fabric, but of course on video you can never see the sparkle because that would just be way too cooperative. But it is in a 14 count Aida, and it is in the colorway Minty Green. But it is opalescent, so it's got some sparkle to it. Again, I'm enjoying stitching on this fabric. It's fine. It's good. This project is at home inside my sea turtle bag. And like I said, I won't be able to keep up with that one. I just won't. I know I won't, and it's okay. It's okay. The next stitch along that I stitched on, that I thought I had unzipped but haven't, so if you can hear this, I'm very sorry. I thought I'd gotten them all, but I didn't. The next one I am stitching on is Beautiful Biomes by Pixel Pixie, and I am caught up with this one. And here is the first band. This is Tundra, and as you can see, it's got the little narwhals and little puffin tracks over here. And I say I'm caught up because what I'm going to do is this frame around the bands, I'm going to continue it along with each band. It's just easier that way. That way I just do that band. I have the entire outline done, but I'm going to fill in the fancy frame with the bands. The bands are not huge. They're not huge. This took me one stitchy day, one stitchy session to finish. They're not huge. They're totally manageable. Now, this is being stitched on a 14 count Aida, I believe. And it is the colorway Sand. Now, I am using, this was meant to be stitched in one color. I am using black. I am using the Anchor Black. I have seen several people say that the Anchor Black has better coverage than the DMC. And my local Joann's had the Anchor on sale, the spools for 40 cents, which was cheaper than I could buy the DMC for anyway. So I thought, okay, I'll try it. I don't see any difference. I really don't. I don't see any difference. The coverage I'm getting from the Anchor is just as much coverage as I get with the DMC, honestly. there's a foot coming under the crack in the door. But I'll continue it with the anchor. The whole thing will be stitched with the anchor, and once the project's finished, I'll make a final assessment. But that was Beautiful Biomes by Pixel Pixie, and I am, in my mind, caught up. Now, the whole frame was released at once, but like I said, I'm just going to do the fancy part of the frame with the bands. It's fine. But this lives in my little Dragons and Towers bag that I made. The next one I worked on was the Herbalist SAL. The Herbalist Stitch Along by World on a String by Dara. This is being stitched on just a piece of fabric that I had in my stash. It's a 14 count Aida in the color Seafoam Green. And this one, I am caught up. This week's was the Glycerite. Last week's was the Salve. So this is actually caught up. And I like how it's turning out. This is a weekly release every Monday until the beginning of September, like September 2nd, I think, something like that. They are tiny little pieces that you can stitch in less than an hour. So very easy to keep up with. Now, she has said we're going to have all of these around the edge, but then this is going to be a little seam inside. So I don't know how exactly that's going to be broken up, but we'll see. But so far, this has been super easy to keep up with. Not a problem at all. Like I said, the pieces are released, and I usually just stitch them. They're released on Monday morning, and I usually stitch them Monday after dinner. Easy enough to do. And this is in my herb bag made for that stitch along. The last one I worked on was the Femurs and Fungi Stitch Along by Fine Frog Stitching. And this one I am also caught up on. These are released on Fridays. And this is what I have thus far. I am loving it. Very much dark academia, which is my thing. I'm a biologist, so. But very much liking this. This one is stitched on, it was labeled a 14 count Aida, but I measured it and it's actually 16 count, so it probably shrunk when dyeing. But it is being stitched on a fabric, we'll say 16 count Aida by Witch's Garden Crafts in the colorway Eclipse. It's been a pain to stitch on because the holes in this Aida are so tight that I have to use a sharp needle, and I have to cut the floss to smaller lengths because the floss frays because the holes are so tight. That's what makes me think it was probably, it shrank during the dyeing process as opposed to just like being mislabeled, because these holes are so tight that I'm not going to say I'm enjoying stitching on it, but we're getting it done. And it's turning out lovely. I mean, it's very nice. The color is perfect with the stitching, so I can't complain too much. It does look nice, and once it's finished, it will look really nice. This is in my butterfly brocade bag. But those are the whips that I've worked on. As I said, everything was a stitch along except for the 4 elements, which was originally made to be a stitch along. I just didn't stitch it as a stitch along. I stitched it as I am stitching it as a full pattern. Now, ow, my ring snagged in my hair. On to haul, I guess. Haul. For haul, I got a few things. I had mentioned before that my husband had pulled Bella Filipina's Bellatrix out of our mystical magical cup of projects, but I hadn't had her kitted up yet. I still don't, but I'm working on it. I have begun getting the stuff to kit her up. I got most of the beads, and I got most of the Krynic. The reason I didn't get them all, the Krynic, I have been to 1, 2, 3 Stitch. I've been to everything cross stitch, and I've been to my local needle workshop, which isn't local. It's in Houston, and it's quite a drive from me. But my husband took me up there, and we looked. Everyone is sold out of some of the colors I need. I find there is a handful of the beads that I can't find as well. One of them because it's no longer in production. It's been discontinued. But there is a substitution. It's just that substitution is sold out. Yay, my luck. But I finally put 2 and 2 together. And I think the problem is Mira May. Everybody's doing Mirabilias right now. And so the Krynic and the beads and all of that, I think, are being sold out because of that. So I'm sure if I just wait, they'll get back in stock and I can pick up the rest. Now, I've already decided that the fabric, I'm just going to dye myself. I have a couple of yards of just plain white Aida, and I think what I'm going to do is dye it myself. That way I can just pick what color I want it. The next thing I got, I was on Amazon. Oh, look at that. They have my address right there in front. Let's not do that. I don't choose to dox myself online. So we're going to reach into this drawer right here. Get a pair of scissors. Honestly, didn't even notice that that was on there. But yeah, let's not dox ourselves. So, what I got was this kit. And it is felt embroidery. It is a Bucilla. And they're little Halloween ornaments. And they're all black cats, my Hecate. And I thought those were cute. So I got this for less than $10 on Amazon because it was on sale. So I picked this up, and I mean, that's 6 ornaments. That's the rest of this year. The kit has everything in it. So I picked that up from Amazon. Now, everything else I got were patterns, and they're PDF patterns. And honestly, I can't even claim to be the one who got these. My husband was shopping. I have one of those husbands who actually, he's wonderful. I adore him. he encourages this. He encourages my hobbies because, as he puts it, they make our home that much nicer. And it doesn't help, or it doesn't hurt, that if he finds something he really likes, then I'll go ahead and get it. I'll stitch it, whatever. Between process stitcher and project stitcher, I'm probably a combo of both. Anything I stitch, I am going to display in some way. I may not fully finish it that day, but it will be fully finished and I will display it in my home. Or it's a gift for someone, like my son or my mother. Now, that being said, okay, perfect case in point are video games. My husband has the PlayStation 4. I have the Switch. Now, don't get me wrong. There are games on the PS that we play together. Okay, like Little Big Planet. But for the most part, the PS4 is his. And so my Switch is hooked up to the living room because my daughter plays my Switch and I play my Switch. I also have a Switch Lite for when she's playing and I want to play. So we can go, visit each other's Animal Crossing islands, that kind of thing. Now, the Nintendo games that my daughter and I like to play, like Harvest Moon or Animal Crossing, or I'm a big Yoshi fan. She is all about Mario. The projects I do for that are hung in the living room around that area where we play the Switch. The projects for him are hung around that area where he plays his PS4. So I have no problem. If it's something for him, then I'll stitch it for him and he hangs it in his area, okay? It's our home, but we have our areas. But Laura from I Stitch Birds was doing what she does best and enabling, and she sent me a link to a project and says, "Oh my God, it's your Hecate." And I said, "Yes, it is, and I have to stitch it." And I pulled it up and showed my husband, and he immediately whipped out his credit card and said, "Here, we have to have that. You have to stitch that." That face, we have seen that face, and it's usually because the boys are bothering her. And she's not having it. So, this is from Raven Coven, and they have a website, ravencoven.com. And she has actually a whole series of zombie animals. Now, obviously, this is the zombie cat, but like she has a zombie bunny and a zombie possum and so she has a whole line, a whole series of the zombie animals, but we had to have the zombie cat. Well, my husband was looking over my shoulder as I was scrolling through, and he picked 3 other patterns that he wanted. Sleepy Hollow, which this one will go in our little reading corner in the living room because, it's a classic and we've read it, so, and we like it, we enjoyed it, so this one will be stitched for our reading corner to go with our literary stuff. He also really liked the Raven woodcut, and all of her designs are in this like woodcut type aesthetic, which we really like. But he really liked this one. And then the last one he chose was this one. He wants me to stitch this one for him for Valentine's Day. And I'm like, isn't that supposed to? Aren't I supposed to choose what I give you for Valentine's? But he says he's requesting this one. So But those are the ones he picked out. Now, I got this one free from their website. It is the Night Demon, which I just think he's kind of cute. And I got the Halloween Haunted House, which was a freebie, which I really like that one. And there's somebody trying to tear down the door. We have been joined by the Hecate, a little wild Hecateensy. But she's not about being held. No. She'll lay next to me. She'll lay up against me, but she doesn't want to be in my lap and she doesn't want to be picked up. I might make her dirty. Now the next one I got was one I got just because I thought it was cute. Because like I said, I'm a big Yoshi fan. I went on to Quality Stitch, and they are based in the UK. But I got the little Yoshi's Island print. I love that game, Yoshi's Island. And I think it is adorable. And I am stitching this for me. Okay, nobody else. Me. Okay. I got that one. Now, I'm going to do the Animal Crossing Polly Pocket. And I'll get to that during plans. And it will be a Christmas present for my daughter. But that is a monster. It is huge. There's no way I am going to get that stitched by this Christmas. So I will not plan for it to be done by this Christmas. Okay. However, I do stitch something for my daughter every year for Christmas. And I found the pattern I want to do this year for this Christmas. And this one is just 111 stitches wide by 111 stitches high. So it's totally manageable. But it is Baby Mario. She will love it. She will love it. Okay. Because she loves Mario. So, this one will be started soon. I just need to get it kitted up. And it will be a Christmas gift for my daughter. The last one I got is one that I can't show because it doesn't have a picture. It just has a chart. And that's it. And it is from dorkstitch.com. I will, if I can get a picture of it, I will insert it here. If there's no picture here, I tried, I'm sorry. But it is meant to be a bookmark. But it's the Super Marios, and it's got, you know, the little Lakitu and the cloud, and it's got Mario on it, and then it's got the like fire flower in a pipe. So it's like a scene from the game. And it's meant to be a bookmark, but I'm not going to make it a bookmark because my daughter really doesn't read. And I want to make it for her, but I will make it as like a wall hanging. Just a small one. She'll like it. So that's my haul. That's what I got this time. Hey, Kitty, what are you? Now you want out? Really? Okay. Hecate wanted out, but then Cheeto ran in. So now Hecate's back in. Because cats. I think the biggest thing is they just don't want the door shut. It's offensive. But anyway, those were my acquisitions. Those were the things I got. Believe it or not, when we went to the Stitchy store looking for the Krynic that they were out of and the beads that they were out of, we actually got nothing. I was shocked and amazed. There was nothing I wanted, really. So, and my husband didn't find anything. But when we were there, hi Cheeto, there was a very annoying, I mean, I don't mean to sound ugly. Normally I'm not. But there was a woman there who was so obnoxious, just loudly complaining about every single thing. She would pick up a pattern. Well, I would stitch this if it wasn't for this little part right here. You know, this would be a great pattern if it wasn't for this little part right here. And I don't even want to stitch this because it's in this color. Then don't stitch it in that color. How many of us just, okay, you know what, I don't really feel like stitching that on that fabric or with that floss, so I'm just going to take what I have in my stash and use what I have. It's okay, you can do that. There's no need to be just ugly. And I think that listening to her and her bad attitude about everything just made both of us not want to really stick around. So I went in, I asked if they had what I was looking for. We kind of browsed for a few minutes until she got on our last nerves, and we just looked at each other and walked out. We're just like, we can't, because neither of us have that attitude. We appreciate art for art. And what we do with stitching is art. Now, a designer can design their pattern and they can stitch the model in any color they want. That doesn't mean you're tied to that color. That doesn't mean you're tied to that anything. You can make your own modifications. Beautiful Biomes. She didn't tell us what color of fabric. She didn't tell us what color of thread. All it said was this was designed to be stitched in one color. Okay. I made the choice of the sand colored fabric with black. But I'm sure everybody else on the planet has their own version of it, and that's okay. But my husband and I are not really the type of people who are going to go in somewhere and just constantly complain. If I don't like that pattern, I just put it back and move on. And I don't say a word about it. And we don't really like to be around that. So I think that's why we ended up leaving empty-handed, is because we were just annoyed. Well, hi, Cheeto. You want up here with Mama? You want up here with Mama? You want Mama's lap? Oh, the little Cheeto. You want up here with Mama? He says, I don't know. I might. Oh, you need kisses? Yeah, we all need kisses sometimes, Mama. Don't you go for that phone. He hates my phone. I don't know what it is, but he always wants to bite it, and I'm always terrified he's going to crack the screen. But anyway, so we actually went to the stitchy store and I got nothing. Shocking, I know. But anyway, those are my acquisitions. Now on to plans. Plans. I've already said I'm not participating in any challenges this May. I know there are several. Monogamous May. Yes. I used to be a speech therapist, can you tell? Monogamous May, Mira May, Stitch Mania. You know what? I'm in Make Progress May. How is that? There's a challenge. I am making as much progress as I can on what I pick up. Okay. That's my challenge for May. I can tell you right now, there is no way on God's green earth I am starting 31 projects in May. That is not happening. I already have too many projects. But there you go. Now I will start stitching the Christmas presents because those are going to take a hot minute. But no, just no. But I am now, and this is something I do every year. When Fat Quarter Shop announces their Halloween stitch along, And I've done more than one of them. Like I said, I check it out every year. And this year it is the Spooky and Sweet Stitch Along. Now these usually typically don't start until around about like end of June, beginning of July. So I've got time. I've got time. And I always just use stuff that I have in my stash. I don't buy anything for these. I just use what I have in stash. They're just small little projects, and they're usually, it's a stitch along that's usually released in 4 separate parts. And it's, you know, each part can be done in 1 to 2 stitchy sessions. They're not hard, they're not complicated, they're not, you know, not time consuming. So I will probably do this one, but I usually do this one. So that is one plan, but that's not until summertime. Summertime, that's when this will start. But I will start going through my stash because she's got the colors listed, and I think they call for, yeah, they call for Classic Colorworks, but they have the DMC equivalent next to them. So I'll probably just use my DMC stash because I don't have a whole lot of Classic Colorworks. And they say charcoal dyed effect for the fabric, but I'll just look and see what I have in my stash. I don't always go by the fabric they say. I'll pull the colors and then I'll do like a floss toss and decide what I want to use. But this is upcoming. My next plan is obviously to keep up with my stitch alongs as best I can, except the Deadly Aquarium. That one I am just stitching as a regular, you know, work in progress. I'm not worried about deadlines and keeping up with that, because as large as it is, I'm not sure that I can keep up with it, and I refuse to stress myself out over it. If I can, great. That's fabulous. Yay me. I don't think I can. I don't have the self-confidence to say I can. But if I can, I can. That's great. And then, like I said, I will probably start doing my Christmas stitching soon. The stuff I'm stitching for gifts. I will probably start doing that soon. My other plan, now I do have one new start planned, and I am going to start it on the summer solstice. I am doing a start along / stitch along with the Nightshade Needleworker, Mindy. If you haven't watched her channel, check her out. She's awesome, cute as can be. And she does a lot of projects that like I would do, okay? She's already enabled me. Mindy, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be doing that fungi book, okay? Really, Cheeto? Really? That was offending you? He apparently wants to sit. Now, the cabinet where I keep my sewing fabric, it's got shelves, and then this one has a ledge. And right now, I have some fabric folded up on it that I had pulled, that I'm planning to use to make summer clothes for my daughter and I. Well, I just hit the floor because he wants to sit on the ledge. So there you go. But anyway, as I was saying, Mindy, that little fungi book that you showed, I plan to do that because that is cute. That is cute. I need to do that. So you've enabled me, just FYI. But anyway, we are going to do a start along / stitch along for the Animal Crossing Polly Pocket project by Glitch Stitch AU. Now, as I said, my daughter and I both play Animal Crossing. We both love it. And I think this is so cute. It is so cute. I love it. And Mindy actually did tiny little charts so that I can plug in my daughter's 4 favorite characters, her favorite islanders. and I will plug them in somewhere. So that's awesome. But we're going to do a start along / stitch along for this. Now, if you go to her channel, she is giving away the pattern for this, which is cool. I, on the other hand, now I made myself and Mindy an Animal Crossing bag. Hers is different than mine, okay? Mine has the vinyl front and it has the handle like I like. Hers does not. I have made a third one. There went my reading glasses, yay! I have made another one. Now, this one does not have the vinyl front. It is just a quilted bag. As you can see, no vinyl front. But I have made a third Animal Crossing bag. I am going to do a giveaway for this. As I said, we are going to start the project on the summer solstice. If you would like to win this bag, just use the word animal in your comments down below. And in my next video, which should be the end of the month, I will choose a winner for this. As always, now in my case, I am sending you a physical thing, so you must be 18 years or older so that I can ask for your address. Do not use any words like giveaway, free, none of those buzzwords. You know why? Trolls looking for free stuff. The usual rules, okay? Just use the word animal in your comment down below, and I will use a random comment picker, and whoever wins, I will send you an Animal Crossing bag. Now I know not all of us like Animal Crossing, but there it is. And you know, you can always use it as a gift for somebody who does like Animal Crossing. That's fine. But that's my giveaway in honor of our start along, stitch along for Animal Crossing Polly Pocket. We will be using the hashtag Pocket Island SAL. Pocket Island SAL. I will put it here on the screen. That is the hashtag we will be using. If anybody wants to join us, great. We would love to have you. And it doesn't even have to be that Polly Pocket. If you're doing any kind of Animal Crossing stitching, we'd love to see it. Go ahead and join us. So, those are my plans. That is the giveaway. Hashtag Pocket Island SAL. And an Animal Crossing bag. So that's cross stitch. My shout out for this video. Now I've already mentioned Lara from I Stitch Birds. I've already mentioned Mindy from Nightshade Needleworker, but there's another video channel, another Flosstube channel that I've been watching, and it is Cross Stitch the Globe. It is two sisters, Stephanie and Allison. I like, for one, I like listening to them. I mean, you have one who is very much a process stitcher and one who's very much a progress stitcher. One who's very thrifty, which I resonate with very well because I am also thrifty. If I have it in my stash, I am using it, okay? And I know I have a lot of charts and patterns, but my husband is the biggest culprit for that because a lot of them are given as gifts or they're things he wants me to stitch, so he buys them. If it were left up to me, I wouldn't have half the charts that I have now. But they have their regular floss tubes, which it's both of them showing their progress. So their videos are kind of long, which is great if you have a drink and you're stitching, perfect. But they also do like educational videos, you know, how to read charts, the difference between the fabric counts and things of that nature. And then they also do just general topics of interest, like the most expensive chart or the most expensive book, things like that are kind of interesting. It's kind of cool to see. Not only that, they do have their own shop where they do patterns based on pictures that one of the sisters, Stephanie, has taken from places around the world when she was a travel writer. So that's cool. And go check them out. Like I said, they're fun to watch. Listening to them go back and forth is fun to watch. I never had a sister. I just had an older brother who basically I annoyed him by breathing. There was about 5 years between us, so you know, we didn't really mingle a lot, and we're not very close today. But Cross Stitch the Globe, check them out. They're interesting. Like I said, it's a dynamic I've never experienced, and I just find it interesting and fun to watch. So, and they do, you know, they have a good video on how to make needle minders. So they do a lot of educational stuff as well as just show their progress and plans and stuff like that. So check them out. But I think that's all I have for cross stitch. On to sewing. Sewing. Of course, I made the Animal Crossing bag that I'm giving away. I also made myself another bag. It is little pink flamingos. I wanted something summery and kind of tropical. And I picked up this fabric. It was just a scrap. It was a remnant. So I picked it up super cheap and made myself a bag out of it. And I like it. It is bright. It is colorful. It is cheerful. I absolutely love it. And I'm looking forward to putting something in it. You know, I have the pink flamingo I used to be a speech therapist, but words and syllables are so damn hard. I have that pink flamingo pattern. Maybe I'll start that and put it in here. But anyway, I made this. And then, like I said, I've also started pulling fabric for summer clothes. But that's really all I've done with sewing. I do plan to do some more. I do have a couple more bags to make. I think I'm going to make myself a Mario bag to put my daughter's stitching in. I made her a nightgown a while back out of Mario material. And it's got, you know, the various characters on it. And I think I have enough scraps to make myself a bag. So I may do that. But I do have a couple more bags cut out over here to stitch up. But that's all I've done with sewing. Mostly I've been stitching because I chose to overwhelm myself with all these stitch-alongs. Yes, I did. So that's really all I have going on for sewing. On to garden. The garden, the peas are done. We have finally hit 90 degrees outside, so they've burned off, which is fine. We've got like 5 gallons of snow peas in the freezer. So that's fine. We got plenty. And we've been eating them. We've been having some Chinese and Japanese food, and we've been eating them. They've been good. probably this weekend we can get out and start picking bush beans, green beans. Our cucumbers are climbing over an arch. They are huge. Our summer squash, our winter squash, all doing well. Our tomatoes are doing well. We have some that are blooming now. Now, we had a bad storm the other day and it knocked them flat, so my husband had to go out and stake them all. But they're doing fine. My herbs have gone wild. They've gone wild. It's herbs gone wild here. So I need to start cutting those and putting them in the dehydrator, especially the catnip. Oh my God, my catnip plant. I have a single catnip plant because I have 4 cats. So I grow catnip every year. It is huge. Oh my God. So I think what I'm going to do is harvest a bunch of it. Now, you can use it for medicine. Yes, that's true. But I think I'm going to harvest and dry a bunch of it so that I can use it to make cat toys. So I need to start doing that. So I need to start harvesting some of my herbs. My oregano has taken over an entire 4x4 foot bed. I need to start drying that. Our cilantro is doing well. Our parsley, our garlic chives, they're all doing well. I do want to, and I told my husband, I want to section off a part of the yard and start growing a dye garden. I want to grow an herb garden full of dye plants because I'd like to start using botanical dyes to dye my stitching fabric. I want to see how that works out. So I want to experiment with that. So I need to get those planted, but that will probably be in the fall. It's too late in the year to worry about it now, but a lot of them, if you seed them in the fall, they come up in the spring. So that will be started in the fall. Artemis now has Cheeto and Jelly Bean snuggling with her, but she's asleep, so it's okay because she doesn't realize it. And Hecate's on the chair, but everyone's quiet, so it's okay. And Snickers probably has my bed to himself and is just living in the lap of luxury in there. But anyway, the garden is fine. It's fine. My husband has started redoing some of the old rotted beds and building them up and making them taller. I'm hoping if we make them taller and then just get rid of all of the growth around the beds and use either rock or gravel or paving stones or something, maybe it'll cut down on those weeds because I'm tired of pulling weeds. So he started building those up, and then once he gets them filled, we'll get them planted. Our pepper seedlings are ready to go in the ground, so they need somewhere to go. The potato plants are doing great. Garlic plants are doing great. Onions doing great. So everything's fine. We do still need to do a bunch of weeding in the flower beds, but we've been focused on the vegetable gardens more than the flower beds. So that's a thing that's still waiting for us. But otherwise, everything's good. My cone flowers, my yellow cone flowers are thriving out there. They're as tall as I am now. My desert roses are blooming. My regular hybrid roses are blooming. So many pretty flowers. I love my flowers. But anyway, we lost the loquats, but the fig is just, it's exploding. So we will get figs. We will get the wild grapes this year. So at least we're getting some fruit. But otherwise everything's great. That's all that's going on in the garden. So life, we're still here. Nothing's broke, knock on wood. Life, we're fine. we're fine. Everything's fine. We're just doing what we do. I am stitching and sewing and planting and gardening. All the things I always do. I'm picking little end pieces of floss off my socks. Because of course I am. Cheeto is completely over his sinus infection. Now, Jelly Bean has feline AIDS. He was diagnosed with it when he had the infection from the being neutered, and we had to take him to the vet because his temperature was so dangerously high. He was diagnosed with feline AIDS then. Now, that is a condition that they can live with. They can live long, healthy lives with. It's, for us, I guess it would come down to like the herpes virus. You can have flare-ups. In his case, he gets eye infections. So he's had an eye infection, but that's almost gone. You know, we took him in, got him some ointment, and that's almost gone. His brother had a little touch of an eye infection, Snickers, but we just used the ointment on him, and he's fine. Hecate is Hecate. Last Saturday, we took her for her annual visit to the vet, just for her shots. She's fine. She's healthy as a horse. She's fine. But being a black cat, I don't know if you've ever seen their claws, but they have murder mittens. They are murder mittens. These things rend flesh from bone, and they're long, wicked claws. Well, what my son says is she velcros herself to stuff, because when you go to pick her, like I said, she doesn't like to be picked up, not even by me. She doesn't like to be picked up at all. And when you go to pick her up, she velcros on. And once she gets those claws in there, there's no moving her. She's velcroed on. Well, we took her to the vet, and the vet went to pick her up so they could weigh her and give her shots and everything, and she velcroed, and they just, nope, snip, 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 and cut her nails. She was pissed. She was mad. She wouldn't talk to us for 2 days. But at least now, when what she does is she'll lay on my pillow at night, and I'll wrap my arms around her like this and pet her, and she kneads on my arm. And usually I have bloody streaks down my arm, but since she got her nails cut, my arms have a chance to heal. So she's not happy. She's mad. But she's gotten over it, and she's forgiven me. Daddy, I don't know. It's doubtful. But then she is not Daddy's girl. She is Mama's cat. I am the only one who can pick her up without her hissing and swiping at you. Apparently I'm the cleanest person in the house because I'm the only one allowed to touch her. But anyway, so she's fine. She got a clean bill of health. She's 15 pounds, but the vet said, she's not overweight or obese. He says he doesn't want her getting any bigger, but she's fine. She's not overweight yet. So she's just in her chair. She's camouflaged. A black cat with her eyes closed on a black chair. But anyway, everyone else is fine. My daughter, of course, is in there playing video games right now, and all the animals are asleep, and it's so peaceful. Nothing's hitting the floor. Nobody's fighting. It's nice. But anyway, so that's all I've got for today. As I said, the Animal Crossing Polly Pocket Stitch Along, I will be starting mine on the summer solstice, which is June 20th, with the Nightshade Needleworker, Mindy. And otherwise, I'm just going to try and keep up with my stitch alongs and as best I can and continue to make progress on my other projects and see what happens. See if I drive myself crazy and overwhelm myself. So far, I'm okay. But I have 2 projects to start for my daughter and 1 to start for my son, which none of them look huge or overwhelming, so they should be okay. Knock on wood. But anyway, that's it from me today. That's all I have to ramble about. I have my mocha over here. I'm gonna sit back, drink my mocha, and edit this video. And then I will probably stitch. See how much more of the vampirum I can get done. Because that one, I'd like to keep up with it, but I'm not saying I can. At least I am up to date with 3 of the 5. Now, I have not begun the Owl Forest mushroom one yet, although I will. I will probably not do it as a stitch along, though. I will probably do it as just a regular project. But anyway, that's it for me. If you're new here, you liked what you saw, or you want to see progress, whatever, see what else I get up to, please subscribe, like, share, hit the little bell thingy to be notified when I upload videos. Don't forget the giveaway. If you would like the Animal Crossing bag, and you know what, it's open across to everywhere. I'm not going to limit it to the United States. It's open to anyone. If you'd like the bag, remember, none of the hot words, no giveaway, no free, no anything like that. Keep the trolls away. And use the word animal in your comments. ANIMAL, animal. And in my next video, in 2 weeks from today, I'll pick a winner and we'll see who gets the Animal Crossing bag. So that's it from me. I'm out. I hope everyone has an amazing weekend. Hopefully where you are, it's not as humid as where I am. Because the humidity is rough. It's so humid, it feels like rain, but without the rain. Okay. But anyway, that's it. I'm out. Everyone have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you next time.